Hey everyone, glad you joined us here for a segment on working with tabs in Word. This is Steve Chase here. And let's begin with understanding that when you're working with tabs in Microsoft Word, you're really dealing with 5 different types of alignments. The left tab, the right tab, the center tab, the decimal tab, and the bar tab. We're going to look through in this episode here how to get them to work how you want them to, and hopefully not have to mutter any bad words, which is quite often the case in my classes. How many bad words start flying around when tabs just don't line up how they want them to. Let's begin with working with the left tab. So you know you've got the left tab. When you look at the ruler, and you'll see a little L on the ruler, depending on what paragraphs you're working with. So here, left tab, very straightforward here, left alignment, as you see here. The right tab, obviously, is the right alignment here. So looking at, we've got one at the 3-inch mark. These are all right aligned, and so are our phone number extensions here. Our center tab is a backwards T, and these two lines here are centered straight down the pipe there. Decimal tabs will be looking at when you have a decimal that you'd like to line up. So here I see one on the ruler, just about 5-inch mark, and it's setting for this decimal places here to be aligned up. So that's 4 of their tabs. Now let's look at the bar tab. Not drinking, guys. The bar tab will put a bar straight down the pipe here. Okay, so it is a single line that goes in between often other tab stops. Those are our 5 tabs. And just to review here, you got the left, center, right, decimal, and bar tab. We'll be seeing quickly here when I get into the demonstration with Word how you can change your tabs and set the alignment straight. One more thing here is we also have something called tab leaders. So here we go. This is the tab leaders scenario here where you might see with, for example, west and east leading up to the different tab stops. So if you want a tab leader, you would double click the tab on the ruler. That opens up the tab dialog box, and down below you have different styles here. This is the number 2 style, which is ... There's kind of like a dashes and an underline there. Here we go. We're going to do a demonstration here of National League Spring Training standings. I'm going to share with you the first 3 teams as of 3/24/2014. The first thing you need to do when you're working with tabs is you've got to turn on the ruler. If you don't have the ruler, simply click on the View tab and then put a little check next to the ruler. Once you've got the ruler, you're all set to create the tabs. Those tabs are, like I just demonstrated in the PowerPoint, are all the way to the left of the ruler. You'll see an L that represents the left tab. I can click on those and I'll go through each one. So here's our center tab. Let me go ahead and do another one. There's a right tab there. If you don't know what something is, you just click on it, see it, hover over it. Decimal, one more, there's the bar tab. I'm going to cycle through, and every time I click, I'll go through either a tab or an indent. Okay, so I'm all set. I've got my left tab. I'm going to place them at the 2-inch, 3-inch, and the 4-inch on the ruler. So what I'm doing here is I'm pressing the tab key after I get done typing each keyword as my header. Let me hit enter, and I'm ready to start off with Miami. With 16 wins, I'm going to hit tab, 10 losses, percentage 0.615. In second place today, we've got San Francisco. 15, tab, 10, tab, 0.600. Okay, how do I know that I'm hitting the tab markers or hitting the space bar? How would you know that? The first thing I ever do when I'm working with tabs and they're a mess, I'll go to the Home tab on the ribbon and choose the Show Hide Marks that we have here. Every time I do that, I'll see an arrow that represents the tab marking here. Okay, the backwards P's, those are the enter keys. So I can also tab through like this. So let's go with the third place is in Pittsburgh. Tab, and you can see as I'm typing, the arrow appears. Okay, I'm going to turn off the show hide marks. Now let's say I wanted to slide the percentages further to the right. I'll need to select each paragraph, look on the ruler, going after my number 4, and if I were just to drag that to the side, everything just falls into place there. You do have to be careful though when you're dragging. Let's say I'm dragging, I kind of let go and drop it into this area here. I'll delete it. So that's a big problem there. If you ever remove one, it's all you need to do is go back and put one back where you would like it to go. And it should come right into place here. Okay, let's convert this number 3 tab here to a right tab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click, which means I can change any tab stop from one alignment to another alignment. I'm going to make it a right tab, set that, and when I hit OK, that should respond. You can see here's the right tab's alignment. Everything's aligned right. Should we look at some bar tabs next? So I'm going to cycle through the bar tab. Here we have one here. If I'm not sure about it, it will say it. Bar tab, okay. I'm going to place one in the middle, about right there. Another one here, another one there. Click off. That's my bar tab. Okay, I'm not a big fan of that for right now, so let me undo that. I can easily delete those by just dragging them off the ruler. Get those out of there. Okay, let's take a look at what to do when you have messed up tabs. This is the bad words that I was joking about from my students. Sometimes I hear in the classes. So on purpose, I'm going to go to Miami and just play around with it and screw it up here so that they're not the same as the others. So obviously there's a problem here. Well, you just use the Format Painter. Select the paragraph that you like. Come over here to the Format Painter. I'm going to click that just once because I only need to use it one time over Miami. And awesome. It creates the tab stops in the exact same location that I used my Format Painter from before. Remember, double click the Format Painter if you need to use it multiple times. How about tab leaders next? I'm going to create ... dots leading up to each of these tab stops here. So I'll go up to my ruler, I'll double click the first tab. It really doesn't matter which I double click. If I get it right, my tab stops will come in. If I get it wrong, it would have added another tab next to the row. I don't want that. So for every tab stop you would like a leader, you select the number on the ruler, go down to leader. I like number 2. I'm going to click 2. And it's important to hit set or else it won't take. If you have 2 or more tabs, it won't take. 3 inch, let's set that up so we're consistent here. 4 inch set. I've set 3 tab leaders. I hit OK. And there we go. Nice tab leaders there. Looks like a table of contents, similar, looking to page numbers and so forth. Awesome. Okay, so the other way to get to the tabs is just to simply click on this paragraph dialog box launcher. Open that up, and then down at the bottom you've got the tabs, and that will open up depending on what paragraph that you're in. Okay, I know one thing I meant to show you is if you do have tabs that are screwed up or different, let's just make this a little bit different than the rest. Just a hair different. Barely noticeable, right? Well, when you go to select all the paragraphs, your tabs will become ghost-like and invisible. It's not really clear which is which, right? That's always the case whenever you select 2 or more words and they're different fonts. You don't see what the font type is. So now that there's an issue there, you go one at a time, and you'll see, them dancing around as you go back and forth from one to another. So I'm going to say that I like the way that Miami looks, I'll use my format painter and then drag through the other two paragraphs. And that will automatically get that aligned up there for us. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed this demonstration on working with tabs. Remember, have the ruler on. Go up in the upper left-hand side to cycle through your tabs. Place them on the ruler. Strike the tab key. If you ever get into trouble, you need to make sure that you've got the show hide marks on just to make sure that you didn't type a couple of tabs in between, that you wouldn't know what was happening until you examine the show hide marks. I'm going to show you one more mistake here. I see, oh my goodness, 3 tab markers there. I'll just click at the end, hit the backspace button because I only need 1. When life's good, turn it off and then move on with the next paragraphs that you're going to work with.